Go.
Well, I'm hoping that Shauna's here. I'm hoping Shauna's already signed on because I've got a question to ask her already.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe, we'll see. And welcome everybody. There's Kate, lovely. Alan, hi.
Quite a lot of people, to be fair.
Yes.
There's 50.
Hi, Vicky and George, says Kate. Hi, Kate. So, hello everybody. Thank you for coming back. If not, I did part 1 on Sunday, which was wrapping hair for a bald cap. And then today I'm doing, hi Ray, hi Jenny. I'm doing bald cap application, and then at 1 o'clock on Thursday, I will do colouring the bald cap. So you left us on Sunday. Go on, George.
I was just going to say, if you missed part 1, I'm pretty sure it's on Pam's. You can get it from Pam.
Yes,
I think.
Yeah.
I think they've uploaded it, so you can find that if you missed it. Sorry, I interrupted.
That's all right. So, as you can see, George now has the other side, which I didn't finish on Sunday, wrapped. And then if you'd like to show the back, you can just turn half sideways, so you can see that I'm wrapped. And then if you look straight ahead, so we're on, as you can see with the wrap, it's quite nice and nice shape here, although I think I would have quite liked that to go in a little bit more, and I would have liked more there, but not to worry, I can't do much about that. I'm hoping that'll be okay, but I'm certainly going to fill there before I put the bald cap on. So you can now go straight, George. So in an ideal world, it would have been nice if George's hair had just been a bit longer, and then when I wrapped it, I could have probably got it up into that walnut whip at the top. But it's okay, because we can sort that out. So today I'm going to apply a vinyl bald cap. These cost £21.50, I think. Kate, tell me if I'm wrong, or Ray. So they come in a little bag like that, and they are a vinyl bald cap. So when you open them, you will feel that the side that you can feel on the outside has got a slight amount of resistance, and on the inside it's a lot smoother. So I try and remember to keep it this way round all the time. So if you pop it on and you're not happy and you need to take it off, when you take it off, if it goes inside out, just keep an eye on it and pop it round this way. And the only reason why I say that, it's not the end of the world if you do it. The only reason why I say that is because this has got resistance on it. It actually takes the Pros-Aide a lot better. It doesn't bead on it, and it also takes the colour a lot better. So it's worth remembering. You'll soon know that's correct, Vicky. Right, correct price, good. So at the front of your vinyl bald cap, you can see there's a little peak there. And that little peak, which is mainly in the centre, sometimes it's not in the centre. So if you put your bald cap on and everything's a bit asymmetrical, just move it around so that you've got enough to glue down all the way around. Now, this point is going to go right here, and the reason why I put it in there is because I want it right on the shadow of the bridge of the nose, so that if that edge starts to lift, we could probably just do a little bit of shading and get away with it. And then the actual edge of the bald cap is going to come as close as possible to the eyebrow. Again, the reason why I do that is if it starts lifting, you may even be able to colour it a little bit eyebrow colour. And also, no one's looking there. They're all looking up here on your hairline and going, I can't see the edge, I can't see the edge. And I've had edges lifting here before, and everyone's looking up here going, God, it looks amazing, can't see the edge. And that's because you're cheating their eye. They think that the bald cap will finish here. Some people finish it here. This is how I put a bald cap on. It's not how everyone should put a bald cap on. I put quite a lot on, and I find that this works for me. So this is what I do when I put a bald cap on.
I think that's true. I remember I was watching That 70s Show the other day, and Mila Kunis has a bald cap in one of them, and I was actually looking at her hairline to see where it started and where it ended. I couldn't see it. So they must have done your tip
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you have it. So it works. So the edge of the ball cap's going to come down here, and then I'm going to glue it down 1 centimetre in front of the hairline. So when I clean the skin, I cleaned it 1.5 centimetres away from the hairline, so I know all this is clean all the way around. So this is the bit where I think it's really, really clever, but you're probably going to be watching and think that I've gone completely mad. So the reason why we can fill this bit and get away with it being flat at the top, and if we have any grooves or any mistakes, especially somebody asked me on Sunday once I'd finished, would I do gaff quat over the whole head? And I have. The problem with doing gaff quat all over the head is that you get lots of ridges because it dries hard, and the soap is a wax and it doesn't really dry out, which is why you can fill in all the ridges, and even when the ball cap's on you can still kind of move everything around and polish it. So what I tend to do is just to take all these ridges that I may have and gaps where I'm not happy with the shape of the head, I take crepe hair, and Kate or Ray, you'll have to tell me how much this is. It comes in a little bag from Pam. And the reason why I'm using this colour is because I'm really keen to spend not a lot of time on colouring it, and I'm really keen not to make the colouring really thick on the ball cap. So if I put this under my ball cap, I'm hoping that instead of you seeing flesh colour through the ball cap and then a dark line, that you will actually not be able to see the line. You'll be able to see it a bit because there will be a colour difference, but it's going to make my life a lot easier. So what you need to do is splay it out, and I think it looks like candy floss. George thinks she looks like she's a judge, a magistrate judge.
With the wig.
And splay it out. And what I like to do is I like to use the same piece all the way, so I know that I want it to go right past this gap I've got at the back. So I want it to go from the hairline here, not here because I'm going to have glue there, all the way here and fill that back piece. I don't like to use more than one piece, but sometimes I do, and in fact I probably will today because I need an extra bit here. Because when you put the ball cap on and you slide it on, if you've got different ones, sometimes one will move and the other one won't move, and then you'll get a lump. You're better off if the whole thing slides and then you've got a gap here, or you've got a gap where you don't want to be. You're better off with it all kind of staying together. What some people do, I don't do it for the same reasons I've just explained, is if they use snap clips or anything in the hair, what they tend to do is they put gaff quat or Pros-Aide on the top of the snap clip, and then when they put their crepe hair or whatever they're using onto the ball cap, they tend to glue it onto there. And I again think that that's a recipe for disaster, because if you drag that, it's glued and you drag it and you're just going to get a lump. And then somebody asked me on Sunday, when I was putting all the tiny pins in, was I worried about all the pins sticking up? And actually they're all contained under this hair here, but if you were putting any here and you were wrapping, I would be worried about them. But then again, the crepe hair comes into its own. So this is the silly bit now. So I've got 2 different colours, so both of them are quite good to go onto the ball cap. Just something, I mean, if you haven't got the right colour, it doesn't matter. Or even if you've got red, which a lot of people have some red crepe hair for using for flocking if they do casualty. Red's good because red will kill black on the colour wheel. So, you know, best endeavours, because I know that lots of people will be on a budget. So I would say for George, the lighter one's better. So I'm going to put this one here where we know that we've got a gap. There we go. And then
Narada Makeup has asked, can we use cotton wool for this?
You could if you wanted to. I wouldn't, because I don't think that cotton wool crushes down. I do know that some people do use cotton wool, and it would probably be better than nothing, but cotton wool won't crush. I mean, when I take this off on Thursday, you'll see that this crepe hair is absolutely crushed and flat. And I think that's what's really nice about it, is that when it's crushed, it becomes nothing. Now, the reason why I've put it on the top there and not the sides is because when I put that ball cap on, that is going to come right down. Can you see how that is going to cover the sides? And what I don't want is I don't want it to look like an old man with wispy hair sticking out of the ball cap at the top. And I'm just going to take it slightly over that edge at the front because I'm going to cut that off. So I want to just make sure that I lose that line that's there. And anything that looks like it's not quite...
There are bits just flying everywhere.
Yeah. And then I've got a large bit. Now, if you can just turn sideways,
Yep.
just so that that's it, so that everyone can see before I put the ball cap on. There you go. So I've filled so I've used 2 colours really so that you can see where I've put my extra bit. But I've still got this top bit over all of it. So if this all slides, it's all going to slide together, and hopefully it'll still work. So Ray, is crepe hair expensive? No, it's not, but I don't know what the price of it is. I've had this bit, and I've probably used it on 5 ball caps. So it goes a long way, and I don't know how much that is. I think it's something like £4, but hopefully
cheap.
So, yeah, somebody will come back with the answer. So we're all ready to go. All our skin's clean. I don't think I've forgotten to do anything.
The sausage dogs asked if you would use the same thing for a male.
Do you know what I would do? If it was a man or a woman with short hair, what I would do is, the first thing I would do is I would put the ball cap on, and I would see what I need to soap down, because sometimes men's hair is so short at the side, it doesn't need soaping. You don't want to give yourself ridges. And more often than not, and people will tell you that I've taught at Delamar, that we can put the ball cap on, we can see the hair under the ball cap on the top, and then we just soap the top in a centre parting, put the crepe on, and then put the ball cap on. So yes, I always would. And also, if you're putting a ball cap on a woman who's got a really small head, this is great just to get a good shape under the ball cap. So I find my little peak.
I feel like it's probably really important to get a good shape, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Especially if you're working with celebrities, they won't want...
No, they want to look beautiful. They want to look bold and beautiful. So here's my little peak, which I'm going to give to George. So first of all, before I give it to her, I'm just going to turn the ball cap inside out, which I've told you not to do, but you're going to see why. So turn the ball cap inside out now. So I give George that little peak there.
I can't see it.
Okay.
Oh, the bit. Okay.
You got it? Yeah. Okay. So she's holding this and the ball cap's inside out. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my hand inside the ball cap, because what I don't want to do is I don't want to put the ball cap on and for all of this on this hairline to slide away.
Sorry. I'm just going to do that.
So that all of this on the hairline slides down the back, and also I really, really want this bit to stay there to get me a good shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now walk the ball cap down to that back bit there. So I've got everything now. And then I'm just going to get George, if you put the phone down on there, because I want you. So to just stop it from having too much tension on that front bit and splitting, I'm just going to get you to hold there. That's it. And then there. That's it, lovely. Okay. And then I can use this hand, I can swap my hands, so I can use this hand to hold that bit at the back there, now that I'm in a good place. And pull the ball cap down, and I've actually pulled it over my hand. My hand's now in the ball cap, so I'll just pull that out.
Okay.
And you hold on, George. and now you can let go.
You can see my fingerprints where I was holding.
But that's because George has got uber sensitive skin. She's so sensitive. Okay, that's great. So if you just turn yourself around and look that way, then everyone can see that now I have actually filled that bit with the crepe hair, and then I've got a really nice shape down there. And just to check, yeah, I believe that although it looked like it was quite bulbous there, I now believe that could be the shape of George's head. Okay, back you go forward. Oh, actually stay like that. You can stay like that, because I'm now going, no, go forward, sorry.
No worries.
I'm thinking I'm gluing the back down, but I'm gluing the front down first. Right, so we're all ready. So just check you've got enough to glue down 1 centimetre all the way round and here. All good. And now we're ready to start gluing down.
I feel like when you take it off, my eyebrows are just going to be imprinted on it.
They might be. So we'll see how it goes. Right, so I'm going to glue the ball cap down with Pros-Aide. This is Pros-Aide Original. Some people, yes, ball caps do come in different sizes. You can buy them in small, medium and large. These vinyls just come in one size, but I do believe that there's a make that Pam sell, and they're pre-coloured, and they're actually really good. I've used them, but I don't understand why they're pre-coloured. I think it's great, but you still have to put the colour over the top. So, I mean, it might save you time if you're putting one on every day. Anyway, Pros-Aide Original. Some people use Pros-Aide cream. I don't use Pros-Aide cream. The reason why I don't use it is because Pros-Aide Original is Pros-Aide cream with a thickener in it, and I don't know what the thickener is. I don't know whether it's Cabasil, whether it's a starch, whether it's a powder, but whatever it is, I believe that will make the Pros-Aide Original not as strong, because you're making it into a cream, and I want this ball cap to stay on for 12 hours maybe, so I want to make sure that I'm doing everything I possibly can to make sure that happens. But as I say, lots of people do use cream. So you can see, it's quite nice. We've got rid of that. I will have a bit of a stretch at the back and probably a bit of a stretch at the front when I pull it down. If we lose George's eyes, I might have to cut it so that she can still read questions.
Yeah.
So back it comes. Take it easy. Vinyl ball caps are strong and they're weak as well. So they're strong when you keep them close to the head, but try not to pull them too far out, because there is a chance it will split. And also, you don't want to, I've taken this back in layers, but I've got my bit that I'm going to get hold of to pull down. But you don't want to take the whole thing back, because you don't want it to pop off the head. So if you think that somebody's got a really big head and it's going to pop off, just get your artist to put their hand on the top for you, because this is very short. So as you can see, I've got all this crepe hair. So I don't want that stopping my glue from gluing. So I'm just going to cut that. George, you might have to close your eyes just while it's falling down. Just cut it just in front of the dark hair and the dark hairline, so that's out of my way. And don't make the mistake which lots of people make, and that is that they go, oh, there's one hair there, I'll just pull that out, and then that hair actually is over there, and so then the whole thing comes forwards. So always make sure that any crepe hair, even around the ears, always make sure that it's cut and not pulled. Okay. Got any questions?
Sorry, I can't see because
I can see hair, sorry.
What about, and I'll say it Telesis, Snappy G Glue, or is it because it dries too quick?
Well, Telesis is, if you buy a pot of Prosaid, and again, you'll have to look on the Pam site, Pam website, I think a pot's like $10.50 or something like that. So if you buy a pot of Telesis, I mean, the big ones are £150 or something. I think it's going to make it a very expensive ball cap. However, you may need to, because you may find that you can't use Prosaid on somebody's skin. I've not had that problem before. I've not had anyone that's not been able to have Prosaid on their skin.
Another question, would you apply crepe hair on a very blonde hair too?
Yes, I would, because I'd be worried about ridges. I'd be worried about my mistakes. I'd be interested in hiding my mistakes.
And Kate says, also I think Telesis slides whenever I've used it.
Yeah, because Telesis never really goes off, so Kate's absolutely right, it does slide.
The Sausage Dogs asked, do you ever make your own?
What? Ball caps? Yes, I have made my own ball caps. I think Sean is with us today. I did a job with Lenny Henry, and he did many sketch shows, and I needed loads of ball caps, and I got Shauna to make them. But I used to teach ball caps at Delamar, but it's not in the curriculum now. Right, so that's my coverage. You can see I've gone down to a point there, which is where my edge is going to be, so it's not right where everyone can see it.
Nice. Very nice. Someone asked, will this be available afterwards? I'm not quite sure, but they'll be available on Pam's Instagram at some point, probably tomorrow.
So Prosaid, when it's white, it's nothing, and when it's clear, it's a really strong glue. So dry it so that it's clear, and then you have your glue. And then I am going to, and I might just get you to just look slightly so I get an even pull.
Yeah.
I'm going to get hold of my edge, and I'm going to pull it over the glue, and I'm going to stretch it a little bit, but not too much. Stretch it enough so that the wrinkles, when George laughs and smiles, we can see through the ball cap, but not too much so that I give her a facelift. And also, I'm quite keen to keep her eyes out, although I wouldn't worry about that too much normally, but I need her to read the questions. And then once that's down, you can see how when you get really good contact, you can see that side, how well that's stuck down. And then got a little crease in the ball cap there, so I just push that out. So the reason why I've just done the forehead and not this side is because you can see now the tension on this side, and we need to lose that to make the ball cap look really good, especially when George laughs and we need all her own wrinkles there and not that ball cap wrinkle. So the reason why I've done that section is so that when I do this one, instead of just pulling it forward, I actually need to pull it down. And the reason why I pull it down, you can see I need to tighten there. I need to tighten on the ear there, and then when I pulled it down, just like that front bit, I pull it forward. And you can see when I pull it down, I've got a nice tight bit there, and when I pull it forward, where George will smile and her eyes will wrinkle, I need to have that nice and tight as well. So that would be the perfect ball cap.
Okay, shall I ask some questions?
Yes.
So what do you do if the artist starts sweating? I know that we answered that in the last one, but if you'd like to answer that one again. And is it a Dyson hairdryer? Yes, it is. And which one do you prefer from a regular hairdryer?
I normally just use an ordinary hairdryer, to be honest with you. I'm using my own Dyson hairdryer because it's quiet, so it means I can talk over it. Any hairdryer you use, I would suggest that you take the nozzle off, because you want the air to dry quite a large area. So I wouldn't want the nozzle on. I would also keep it on low or medium. I wouldn't have it, you know, you just need a little bit of a breeze. On set I use a hand fan if I have to do repairs, so you don't need much air to dry the prosade if you've got it on nice and thick and even. Also, what was I going to say? I don't know.
Probably about the sweat.
Yes, and so with the sweat, you really want to keep your artist. This is kind of like an illusion. So whether they've got Gaff Quartz soap or whatever they've got on their hair, when they start to sweat, not only do they get hot, but the product that you've got on their hair will start to move around. So I would suggest keeping them cool as much as possible.
Yeah, and Rachel Lennon says to use Sweat Stop.
Yep.
But to check for allergies before
and thank
do.
you, Ray, because Ray introduced me to Sweat Stop, and it is absolutely brilliant. Use Sweat Stop. I mean, you've cleaned the skin and you've cleaned the skin. Make sure they've got a fan, if you can give them cold drinks, if they've got ice, you know, and just so many things to keep them cool. George, I'm going to turn you around because I'm going to do the back. So we're going to turn you right round. So you have to
like
turn.
that.
Yeah, you all right like that?
Yeah, fine.
I might need you square. Let me turn the chair around because I don't want your neck twisted.
Sure.
So
I'm fine with that.
that's good. Yeah. So we've got the front down now, and now we're coming round to the back. So anything that we've got that's a bit loose around there, obviously we need to put some tension on that, and we want our tension from front to back, which will secure all the hair into the bald cap. So what we're going to do is we're going to give that a bit of a pull, which takes those wrinkles out, and we're going to glue that down. What I like to do, if I can, is I like to glue it well down so that if you've got a t-shirt or something, that edge you lose under the t-shirt. So the further I can go down, the better. But I do need an edge for when I bleed the edges of the bald cap away. So I can see that I'm going to come down to about here. So there's no moles or anything for me to be looking at. And now when you bring this up, please be aware that you've got soap in here and that this edge does not need any soap on it. If it has soap on it, it won't glue down. So what I do is I just tuck it in. Don't forget the hairdryer is going to go on it and it's going to blow around. And again, I tuck it in that side, and if it won't tuck in, then I just get my artist to hold it, or if you wanted to, you could put a couple of little pins in it, not through it, like that, if you wanted to.
Quite a few people have bbeen asking, I'm not sure if they can hear me, so if you can repeat
Yes,
the
I
question.
think they can.
But do you have time for a question? Sorry.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I'm good.
So if you're got someone older who has more wrinkles, what would you do in this case? Would you still do it down to the nose, or how would you do
I would, because it's about my edge. So it's all about my edge. It's about losing my edge. So as you say, if they sweat or it's been on for a while and they haven't been used and they've had a sleep, there's all sorts of things that could happen. So I would always go to the bridge of the nose. I just think you've got a bit of security in losing that edge if it lifts. So I'm mimicking that panel at the front, so we know I've done that panel. So I'm doing the tension from front to back, so I'm mimicking that. And then what I like to do is not have, especially if you've wrapped hair and it's bulbous up here, I like to not have a straight line where the bald cap hits the skin. So when you look at the hairline, and you can see it on George, she's got an upside down W there. So what would be quite nice to make it look natural at the back is to put that upside down W in again. And then when it glues down, we'll have a nice shape on the back. And I always think that if the back looks good, it's better than the front. So I'll just take myself down a little bit further because I've got all that hair that I need to contain.
Someone would like to know, do you use the diffuser on the hairdryer?
You could do. Yeah, you could do. I mean, if your hair dryers, some hair dryers are really quite vicious, aren't they? You could do, but it's a bit like when you soak the hair. You don't want to use too much water because you don't want to spend your time drying the hair. So a diffuser is very gentle, but yes, you could. But what I quite like to do is just get on with it. So soak the hair really quickly, wrap it, soap it, get the ball cap on, and then that's when I take my moment and go, right, it's edge time, and that I like to spend my time on my edges. I quite like to throw it on, spend my time on the edges, and spend my time on the colouring. So we can see a little wrinkle there, we see wrinkles there, so we're just going to put enough stretch on it, not too much because they're not. Are you nice and square, George?
Yes.
Okay, and then if you want to put a tiny bit more tension on, just ask your artist to lift their chin about 1/2 inch. Just look up 1/2 inch, that's it. Too much? Down, that's it, lovely. And then that'll just give you some extra tension. And then down I come, and that feels good. Make contact. Get your old powder puff. I used to have a powder puff that had MAP written on it, not Pam. I don't know what I've done with it. Anyway, this is an old Pam powder puff. I quite like that one. And just make sure that you're down. No, I don't know whether Lily's watching. Lily, where are you? I need you to come and hold this side for me. As I say, I would normally be doing this with a silent helper. There, so you can see that's down really, really nicely. So we're just going to turn you to the side, George. And there we go. It's a good job there's felt on these.
Are you calling me fat?
No. So we're now going to do this back bit. We're going to do back, front, and then we're going to do the ears. What's the time? 1/2 so better get on with that. So this is going to come down because we need to make sure that we get that nice and tight. You should be able to see that. So we need to make that nice and tight there. So we're going to come downwards so that it's nice behind the ear, and then we're going to come forwards because we want. If you look round to me now, can you see how when George looks, that's the natural wrinkle and then back. So that's the only wrinkle we want in the back. Time for some questions.
Oh, there's not actually any at the moment.
Oh, lovely.
Well, I can read you some of the old ones if you'd like. SFX by David said, will it not rip hairs out when you take it off? I'd be too scared to go close to the line. Talking about my hairline.
Okay, right, well I go right onto the hairline. And firstly, George's hair is covered in soap right down to the hair. And also when I put the Derma Shield on, I also put the Derma Shield on her hair as well. We've got a little bit of crepe coming out there, we don't want that.
There's a spider on the floor and it's crawling towards me.
No, there's nothing I can do about that.
Oh no, I've scared it away. It's fine,
Okay.
it's fine.
What did you say to it?
I kicked it.
Okay,
Well,
so
I pretended to kick
so
it.
remember that your Pros-Aide, when it's white, is not a glue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right in behind George's ear, which will really save me time later because then I won't have to go around her ear. And it doesn't matter because it's not a glue yet. It doesn't matter whether you put it on the ball cap or whether you put it on the skin. But if you put it on the ball cap, you can actually see where it's going. Just get rid of that little bit of crepe hair there. So the air can be hot or cold, so if it's a nice summer's day and it's hot in the makeup truck, then you can use cold air, and if it's a freezing cold day and it's an early morning, you could use hot air.
So Makeup Artistry by Shona says that natural wrinkles from the bowl cap, and for older people, how would you go about applying to show their natural links and wrinkles, if that makes sense?
So I would still put the tension on an older person, but I would make sure that the tension was minimal. I mean, I want to put a little bit of tension on this because I've got a lot of hair in there that once the ball cap's on, I don't really want the hair moving around. So I'm going to now pull downwards to get that behind the ear, and then, are you nice and square, George? Sorry, because I've got you on the, yeah, yes. Okay. And then forwards, like that.
Another question?
Did I answer the last one?
Yeah, I think
yeah,
so, yeah.
Okay.
So SFX by David says, sorry I missed the soap part. Can I use Vaseline in the hairline to stop Prosade sticking to the actual hair a lot?
Yeah. Just be careful, that's the only place it is. That's all I'd say.
Okay.
Vaseline will stop the Prosade from working at all. Okay, other side, George.
I moved, I don't know if that's big.
Let's turn you, twist you that way, towards the laundry room door. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going.
I can't. It's hard for me to show myself.
Lovely,
okay.
yeah.
What are the best paints to cover the bowl cap? I think we'll go over that in the next part.
Yeah.
Not so much this one, which will be when? That's on
Thursday. So today I'm just applying the ball cap and bleeding the edges away. And on Thursday we're going to colour it. So we'll talk about colours then.
FX Amy says, do you find that sometimes your bowl cap rips? If so, how do you fix it?
Yeah, it does rip, and it's normally because I've pulled it out too far when I've been trying to put the hairdryer on it. I just put it back. I just pretend it's not happened.
Forget about it.
Yeah, and I just hold it together and glue it down, glue the split down side by side.
Yeah. When you're putting a bowl cap on someone with long hair and you soak the hair down the back when you apply the bowl cap, do you glue over the hair or around it?
Well, the hair won't take any glue because it's covered in soap. So I make sure that it's really clean both sides, and you want to contain that hair down the back like the pictures I put on Instagram. And so that's downwards and forwards and make contact. I just make sure it's really, really clean both sides, and I try to make that hair that's going down the back as flat as possible, but you know, really, really like a channel really, so that I can glue really well both sides, and I would probably take this edge right down to the bottom to contain it, just so that when they look left and right, there she is, just so that when they look left and right, their hair isn't going to move. That's the thing. The ball cap's also containing the hair. Right, so in we go. So this one is a little bit tricky. And the answer to Prosade in the hair, to be honest with you, I am actually more interested in the ball cap than my artist's hair.
Thanks.
I know. So, but I always find that it comes out really easily at the end of the day. I know everybody goes mad and they go, you know, I mean, if I soap eyebrows down, I'll do them with Prosade. I mean, I know everybody says don't use Prosade, don't get it anywhere near the hair. I find that if you soak it enough, it comes out.
Desiree Makeup says, will you be going to sleep with this cap on till Thursday?
Yeah.
I hope not. I don't want to. What happens if the actor has a big mole on the back of their neck or behind the ear? Would you try to hide it under the bald cap?
I'd probably just stick the bald cap on top of it and then colour it back in.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Just colour it in
Yeah.
with a Sharpie.
Now I want to just make sure that I'm in there. Can you see? I'm not quite in there. So just be careful at this point because you don't want to split your bald cap. Close your eye, George.
Yeah.
Is it too hot?
No, it's fine. It's just hot in general.
There you go. I'm in.
Yeah, it's fine. Oh.
So we are downwards to make that tight in front of the ear and forwards and make contact.
Nice. Okay, could you put telesis as a barrier for eyebrows?
Yes, definitely.
Oh, that's nice.
Got to get it out though.
That's true, that's on you. I feel you're the one who has to wash their hair.
Or you could use spirit gum. I mean, you're not meant to use it, are you? You're meant to use Pritt, the pink Pritt stick, but because it's not made to go on the skin.
Vanilla69 has posted this. I have a question on ball cap material. I make my own ball caps using Kryolan Syncap and also Glatzan.
Yeah.
Do you have any suggestion which material is more close to cap plastic? Thank you.
Do you know what? Shauna, are you there? Could you answer that one, Shauna? Because Shauna showed us some fantastic ball caps over Christmas, and I haven't made them for quite a while now, so I might hand that over and see if Shauna comes back. Quite nice, it lifts it up.
Shauna says, can you repeat the question? So I'll just repeat that really quickly. I have a question on ball cap material. I make my own ball caps using Kryolan Syncap and also Glatzan. Do you have any suggestion which material is more close to cap plastic? And that's for Vanilla69_. And Natika asks, what kind of sponge are you using to apply the Prozade?
Oh, that's a good question. That's car wash sponge from Halford, and it's like
Very professional.
50p for a massive sponge that you can do your whole car with, and it's the best. I just really like it. I think it's really good.
And FX Amy asks, what glue do you recommend using for applying a latex bald cap?
I don't know. Latex ball caps are more theatre, and I've not done any theatre at all. Maybe someone else can answer that. I've done one which I use spirit gum for, but I'm not 100% sure.
And Dimitri says, why do you split this up into 3 sessions instead of torturing Georgie only once?
Because she probably wouldn't sit down if I asked her to sit down for 3 hours.
No, I asked for this. I did something horrible in a previous life.
So if you just turn sideways for me. Yeah, so I'm going to start at the back, and then I'm probably going to do one side because it's 1:45, and then I'm going to do the front so that you can see the front completed. So the way I like to, I wonder whether it's worth coming closer, George.
Do you want me to hold it somewhere?
Yeah, I think if you held it round this side, maybe.
Like that?
Yeah, that's really good. And then because the word's coming up like that, can you just hold it like that? Then you have to straighten your head. That's it. Okay, so this is the way I do it. So I get hold of the edge of the ball cap, so I have to have an edge. Just look straight ahead, that's it, lovely. And then I almost tear it so that that edge is really, really thin. And then I get my brush, and my brush is an old, crappy, hard brush. So I'm actually using it like a knife, and I'm going to slice downwards and outwards so that I put it a few millimetres above where the ball cap is glued down.
By the way, sorry, I can see that my hand is shaking, but there's nothing
It's
I can
all right,
do
I'll
about
just
it.
do this bit and then we can go back round. And then I'm pulling it away. No rubbing, this isn't a makeup brush. Imagine this is a knife, so no rubbing, because you end up with little bits of cap plastic all over your skin, which you cannot get off, and the camera will see it. So if I come this way so that we can see a bit better. So we stretch it, we tear it, and then we cut it, and we just cut into it. And we take it away, so there's nothing left on the skin at all. Tear, cut. Really stretch it. So it's almost like you're seeing it rip in a way.
What are you using to dissolve it?
Acetone. You can see how it's just dissolving there.
I can smell it as well.
Okay, right, so lovely.
Right. Should I put this back?
Yeah.
Should I face this way?
It's 10 to, so I might come round the front, you know, and do the front, which I think would be of more interest to everyone. You just take that away. There's a little bit of crepe hair there.
I'm just gonna comment her at so that you can follow my mother if you so wish. I'll pin it so that it's all up there. There we go.
Okay, you can come forwards now, George.
Okay.
Okay. So I like to start at the back because I can get the hang of it. I can see how thick the ball cap is. Some ball caps are thinner and the acetone runs away. I like to use a brush that's hard and use it like a knife. I don't use cotton buds because I think you can have too much acetone on your brush and then it can run away. So once I come round to the front, so I'm pinching.
Oh, I'll bring it closer for this so that you can kind of see what's happening. It's an awkward angle, sorry.
That's all right. Also, I think that if we did this over one, not only would we need a break, but I quite like so that everybody stays focused, I quite like to have somebody helping me so that it would be so much quicker. And I think this way, when we come back on Thursday, the whole ball cap will be glued down. So you get to, I think as a viewer you get to see more than if I did it in one. Okay, so you can see the edge and you can see that I've left nothing on the edge. And if you see a tiny bit that you don't like, you can just, I kind of like cross-check it. So I've done it that way, so I go this way and...
There's a cat meowing.
It's too hot for him. So we're going right above the eyebrow, but as close to the eyebrow as we dare. And it's as good as how close your glue is to the eyebrow. If this was a man, I'd probably brush his eyebrows down before I stuck the bald cap on.
This is our cat, by the way. It's great.
And then then I can get the edge in nice and close. And then I can always brush his eyebrows up when he's when the bald cap.
Flynn said, "Sounds like the cat wants to be the star of the show."
Always. He was the star of the show on Sunday.
Scratching at the door, meowing.
Yeah, he had to be taken away.
People are here, but I'm pretty sure we're about to do that in a second.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get there. I'll do one ear, if not two. And we will get there. So I actually don't like to use scissors on a bald cap at all. I'm always worried that we will cause it to run and we'll get a split in it.
And that's the last thing you want.
And that's the last thing we want.
Extra stress.
So I'll just tear this because I haven't got my scissors on this side. I mean, scissors to do that, but that's about it. So when I do the ears, I do it again with acetone.
H-Bomb Makeup said, could you do it just under the eyebrow if it was, for example, a chemo FX?
Yeah, so I did a Bupa commercial that saw a woman from being a child growing up, having cancer chemotherapy and then having her own children. It was on a couple of years ago. And I glued the bald cap down in her eyelid crease. And I have to say, it worked a treat and it looked fantastic. But my goodness, it was a bit of a worry, bleeding the edge away.
Stress.
So this is why it's such a good idea to use a brush and not cotton bud, because you want to make sure that you can control exactly how much acetone you've got there. Right, George, let's do an ear. Let's go this side because this side's glued down. So round we come.
Okay. Do you mind if I ask some questions?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Okay. What would you do if it split, the ball cap? Are there hacks to covering? Let me know.
I tend to, when we stuck one on as a test on Sunday, it split here. I pulled it out too much when I was drying it because I wasn't concentrating, and it split all the way up here. So we just put it back together, and it was just buffed. And if you look at the pictures that were put on Sunday, or for the teaser, I'm not sure, you can't see the split at all. If you can try not to overlap it, that's a good thing. Right, so when we look at the ear, sorry, but I need to get on.
Yeah, I think we'll leave questions for the end for now.
So you can see there's a natural hole in the ear. That's where you want to go in. And I'm sorry, I'm a bit cat-handed with you. Right, I'll tell you what, I'll just move you and then, then go there. That's it, lovely. So in we go. And we make a hole. There we go, there's the hole. And then my brush hasn't got very much acetone left on it now. So what I tend to do is look. So obviously I don't want to go up to there because we've seen behind George's ears and we know she's got quite a bit of skin. So I reckon the edge is along her ear there, which I want to keep all that contained, and then round there. So I'm just marking it out with my brush with the rest of my acetone on, so it's not that strong. So I can see exactly where I want to go now. So now I know I'm going to load my brush up with acetone, and then I'm going to just see if I can get hold of that. George has got so many piercings. And I've got hold of that so that it's almost like the tear factor again. And I'm just going to go in on my line and just very, very gently cut into it. Take it easy. I can see the spider on the floor.
Oh, it's coming towards me again. No. Yes.
There we go. We're in.
No, don't come towards it. Mummy, it's going towards it. Go away. Okay, it's going away. No, it's come back. Oh, this is so stressful.
And then I just tend to take it easy really, because if I'm not quite there, I can go again. So this may have stuck, so you can get some powder on the end of your brush and just roll that out, because you might have dissolved the ball cap onto the ear like you have this edge, and then you just pull that ear down. Ears are really tough, and pop it out and have a look. So we can see that we just need to take a bit more off there. Look, you can see. So I need to go to there. So with the bit of acetone that I've got now, just mark it. And then don't do it while it's under tension. Take it out. So take it out again. Pop the ear back under there. And just take that little bit off there. There we go.
I don't see the spider anymore. It's very stressful.
Yeah, he's gone. Oh no, he's gone.
No, he's behind my chair. I know he is.
And there we have it. So, and also, if you do get a little crease like that, I mean, I'm going to put some Pros-Aide in there and glue that down. If you do get a little crease in there, actually, that's really real. Look at people that have got bald heads. And I'm just going to go in there like that. And then all the way around there at the back, just to glue that bit down. I'm just going to let that do its own thing, because there's no stretch on that, and I quite like that crease. You could dry out behind there if you wanted to, but I'm just going to let that just naturally go tacky, and then I might give it a little bit of a pull. Then I would acetone all of this off at the back. We have, what, George, 2 minutes?
3 minutes.
3 minutes. So have we got any questions?
Yes, we do. Let me just go back and have a look at them. Okay. I'm looking for the ones that haven't already been answered.
Okay, so once you've gone all the way around and done the other side as well, George, you can come nice and square now. What I like to do before I start colouring up the ball cap is I like to just go all over it with Pros-Aide. And the reason why I do that is to just give it an extra strength. And when you stipple the Pros-Aide on, you want to go right down to this very, 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 very bottom line here. And if you've got some skin between your ball cap and your eyebrow, then take it over the edge of the ball cap right up to the eyebrow, so that you've got the same texture. Stipple all over here, all over like that, and all over this back edge, like a few millimeters in front of it. Blow dry all the Pros-Aide and powder it, and then you're ready to colour. So that's it. We have 1 minute left.
Yeah, quick question. Ignore that. Do you ever pre-colour the vinyl cap, and how do you add acetone to an eyelid?
Very carefully to an eyelid. So you want a really, really small brush and hardly any acetone on it at all. And I would give the artist a tissue to put actually on their lid, because I did it in the socket line there. Also, yes, I do pre-colour. And if Lily's there, she'll tell you that we pre-coloured when we did a ball cap for theatre. Obviously, once you know the colour, it's well worth pre-colouring to save your time, but only here. obviously nowhere near the edges, because if you pre-colour there, your edges won't go down as nicely.
Okay, well, there's 20 seconds left, so I don't know if we'll have enough time to answer another question. Will we?
Maybe not. So, yeah, go on.
Yeah,
there you are. Thank you very much, Vicky. Thanks, Lily. Yes, go on.
No, I was going to say, there's a small bubble on the top left of the eyebrow. Would that be a problem while colouring? Oh, 3, 2, 1.
I'll come back.